Hi, everybody. Welcome to another live episode of The Grid. My name is Scott Kelby, and joining me today, sitting in for Matt Kloskowski, who could not be here because he thinks he's too cool, is a guy who obviously doesn't think that, Mr. Brad Moore.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, Scott.
Brad and I just flew in from Red Eyes from Vegas. Well, you flew in yesterday.
Yeah, I got in like 1 last night.
Yeah, we got in 1 last night. I was leaving Vegas at 1 last night.
Yeah, you were.
So I went home and took a nap, and my hair looked so bad I had to grab a hat.
Falcons hat.
Want to see? No.
Why isn't it a Bucks hat?
I don't know. I got a cool. Not a Vikings. I almost said a cool Vikings hat. There is no such thing, I don't believe, as a cool Vikings hat. I have a Falcons hat today. So a gift from the Friends of the Falcons. Hey, welcome everybody. Matt is actually in Los Angeles today teaching a big seminar on Lightroom. So if you're in LA and you're at Matt's seminar, you're not seeing this live. But,
I thought he was auditioning for movies.
And he's, of course, auditioning for... He actually is on a show. He's
CSI or something?
No, he's not on CSI. Yeah, hang on a second.
No, I didn't know if he was out there with Kubasi.
Yeah, hold on. No. He's actually on a show.
Because we've got a buddy, Mike Kubasi, that is the set photographer for CSI and a bunch of the different crime and medical shows out there. So I didn't know if Matt might be on set hanging with him, not
Matt
on the show.
Matt is actually on the Home and Family show on the Hallmark Channel. The episode will air this Friday, in 2 days,
Look at that.
on the Hallmark Channel at 9 Central Time for cable, and then for satellite, it airs at 7 a.m. on the West Coast, 10 a.m. on the East Coast. And so the guy that hosts the show, he's a photographer.
Okay.
And he's got Matt on, and so this is the second time Matt's been on the show.
So it's not like How to Nail Your Chippendales audition? It's not that?
What was the name of the show? Crickets.
Home and Family Show is the name of the show. So see Matt on the Home and Family Show this Friday on the Hallmark Channel. It is 9 Central Time for cable and satellite, or 7 a.m. on the West Coast, 10 a.m. on the East Coast, which is just how time zones work. Hey, so that's why Matt's not here today, but Brad was kind enough to sit in and hang out with us. And Brad and I were at the WPPI show, so we have a lot to talk about the show today. Hey, to get us started, though, I want to run something that Smug Mug released this week. Smug Mug has been doing this really, really interesting series. They just launched it where it's really cool because they did this thing called Smug Mug Films. And they are doing kind of like little mini, like 2.5 minute
kind of documentary behind the scenes
things about different photographers. And the first one was on Jessica Ambats, which is amazing.
Oh yeah.
She's an aerial photographer. And so anyway, they released one that they did on me this week. And I have to say, they did such a good job. I look so much better than I really am. When you watch it, you're like, wow, he looks good. But no, it's just the way they put the story together. And the guy that did it, their director, is Anton Lorimer.
Yes.
Who Anton was hanging out with Brad and I quite a bit during this process. Took a while.
Photoshop World.
It started last September in Photoshop
Sidelines
World.
at the UT game.
Yeah,
here at the
Vols
office.
game in Tennessee. He's been here for interviews and stuff. That guy Lorimer.
He's good.
Genius.
He's good.
No, seriously, he's really, really good. Really great guy and a really good guy. So I want to run it for you here because I'm very excited and honored.
It looks
proud.
great. Yes.
So take a look at it here, and then when you come back and you see me in this stupid looking hat, just think of the Scott from the video, not from the Scott how he looked today. Here we go. Let's roll it.
My name is Scott Kelby. I'm a photographer, educator, and author. The common theme in everything that I shoot is I like to shoot the detail shots. I like to get in really, really tight. Being in close, it creates an intimacy. Our minds fill in the missing pieces. One of the things I love most about shooting sports is the ability to freeze a moment, to freeze the action. Sports happen so fast. A football game happens so fast. Athletes put it all on the line. And when you can freeze that moment, it's really just amazing. What really gets me excited about a sports shot, it's the emotion after a big win or the emotion after a big loss. Just intense celebration or just this moment of just utter defeat. In a studio environment, I think the best shots come from natural shots. And it's trying to get the frame between the frames, that moment right between where they're going to give you a real pose, where you say something silly, they laugh, and you still shoot to get that natural moment that translates right into the end. I've always been a creative person. I transitioned from being a musician to a businessman. I mean, I run a business with 85 employees. But what I love about it is when I decide I'm going to shoot a football game, or I'm shooting a model today, or whatever it is, for that moment in time, I get to shut everything else out. When I knew I wanted to be an educator was my first seminar in 1993. I look out at the room and you see all these people nodding their heads, and all of a sudden I realized we just want to make better pictures. And if I can help somebody along that path, I'm a happy guy. That's what I get excited about. When I think about photography, it's really what you're standing in front of and how you aim the camera. There's not a button on the camera that you press to get better photos. You have to stand in front of something amazing, then you have to shoot it in a really interesting way. That's what I think our job as photographer is.
And now you're back to the real me. Sitting here off a red eye, all tired with Brad. Anyway,
I don't know what that was.
they did a wonderful job, I thought. So my hats off to everyone, Anton and the whole crew at Smogwood. They've been great. They're wonderful folks, and the fact that they're just doing this series and they're not putting a sales pitch behind it or anything. They're just doing something for community. I think it's really cool. Yeah. Hey, Photoshop World is coming up in Atlanta. The cutoff date is coming up soon for the early bird. You can save like all kinds of crazy money if you sign up. Like right now, if you sign up by March 8th, looks like 18th. Yes. Come to Photoshop World. Obviously, we have a pirate theme this year. And we have quite a movie to start off the show and kick everything off. So anyway, we hope you'll join us in Atlanta. It's our first time in Atlanta. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot of really great people there. We've got Peter Hurley. We've got Zach Arias. We've got Jeremy Cowart. We've got Brad. We've got everybody. So it should be a lot of fun.
We've got Pete, Matt, RC, Corey.
Nah, those guys not. Anyway, lots of Lightroom stuff. Oh, we got Lightroom stuff coming out our ears at Photoshop World. Giveaways. Let's do some giveaways real quick. We have my brand new book, the Photoshop book for Lightroom users. We're going to give that away. Just came out. Here it is. Bang. Right there. We're getting away. Okay, I wrote another book. This one's weird. I wrote a book on just the chapter intros of my books. So I always write these quirky books. This is it. It's called Buy This Book of Chapter Intros, Even Though You Won't Learn Anything. That's the title of the book. So the deal is, it is I write these quirky chapter intros. They're supposed to give you a mental break between chapters.
Quirky's one word for it.
Quirky's a word for it. Some people have other words. But anyway, all of the proceeds, 100% of the proceeds, or the profits from the book, 100%, go to the Springs of Hope Orphanage in Kenya. So it is just kind of a fun thing. You will not learn anything. Zero content, all fun. And that depends on your what are you doing?
I was doing a zero, but it was like at a weird angle.
That's not a zero, bro. That's whatever. Stop. Just stop. Please don't make a clip of this and put it on anywhere.
No, we
YouTube.
don't talk about enough of.
All right. We don't talk about love enough. I know. All right. Anyway, we're also going to give away a full year subscription to KelbyOne, our online training, giant training thingy. And we're going to give away a copy of MacFun's Snap Heal, which is a very cool Mac OS app that basically does healing. So there it is. It comes on a SD card. How neat is that? Hey, our topic today is how the photo industry is changing. Brad and I spent the last few days out at WPPI in Los Angeles. We've got a bunch of insights into things that we learned at the show and just observations and things.
Las Vegas.
And what?
You said Los Angeles, Las Vegas.
Did I say Los Angeles?
I think you did. He's only had an hour sleep.
I've got an hour sleep, so it was Las Vegas. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, more fun with Brad. Everyone, look at Brad. And we're out.
Maybe.
Push back. No, pull back.
Get the world's best photography, lighting, and Photoshop training at Photoshop World. Here's the top 10 reasons you should attend. It's 3 non-stop days of real-world training where you can get personal attention and unlimited access to the world's top instructors in Photoshop and photography. When you attend, you'll have chances to experience hands-on live shoots and workshops, outrageous after-hours parties and events, and hundreds of classes for all skill levels, along with dozens of opportunities to network with other attendees. In-depth, one-on-one portfolio reviews from industry professionals and see new cutting-edge technology. Plus, you can even earn continuing education and graduate-level credits from attending. This is the must-attend conference for photographers and Photoshop users. Use the promo code to get an extra $50 off. Photoshop World, the world's best Photoshop and photography conference.
Shots fired. Hey, we're back, everybody. All right, we got a couple of things. So this is you won't care about this, but I'm going to tell you. So we're at a WPPI, and some of the Canon guys said, "Hey, we're going to go do this shoot, right? And we're going to invite you to come along." And what it was the guy that invented video poker, right? This is the guy that actually like trademarked and patented and everything, the actual casino game of video poker. And he owns videopoker.com. Apparently, that has paid off really well.
Very, very well.
He has a hangar in Las Vegas that is, it looks like the people that designed the Aria Casino came and designed his hangar. You look at it and you're like, this can't be a hangar. It looks like amazing. But inside it is a collection of exotic cars, classic cars.
Batmobiles.
2 Batmobile replicas from 2 different Batmobile movies.
I don't even know if they were replicas or not.
No, they were replicas.
Were they? Okay.
Yeah, but they're fully running. I mean, it looks like the Batmobile. And so, and so when I learned that I got invited to this thing, I called Brad and said, you have to come to WPPI because I wanted to light some of the cars because they're just going to walk around shooting ambient light. So I took just a very short video on my phone I'm going to show you of this guy's hangar. Yeah. Right? And his name is Earl.
Ernie.
Ernie
Goody. Ernie Goody. Yes, that's it.
Yeah, and he was incredibly gracious. He allowed all these photographers in to shoot, and we brought in food and stuff, and then it was pretty dramatic when he arrived. He arrives on his own private, like, commercial jet. Yeah. And the doors open, and, we're all in there taking pictures and stuff, and then the doors open, and here he comes.
Actually, you were leaning against the door, taking pictures of the Batmobile.
I was shooting the Batmobile, they're like, get off the door. All right, I'm going to run this from my phone because that's the only place I have the video. So here we go. I'm going to air.
You need to connect video.
That's what he's doing.
I'm going to connect to the video thing. Pete just shot me birds. 2 birds.
No, those are fingers, regular fingers.
Those are birds.
Number 1, Scott, number 1.
You want to go to number 1?
Yeah. Go to number 1, sure.
Oh, okay. I went. Tell me when they see it.
Hit play.
All right, she's got it. So this is just, I took this on my phone here. Look at this. This is where we went.
It's at the end.
Hold on it.
Rewind.
Let me rewind. Hold on. Why is it at the end? Oh, because when I go to, hang on. It won't let me rewind. Here we go.
There.
All right. Now we hit play.
We're good.
This is a tight crew we're running here. Let's see.
Maybe.
Ah! I'll let Brad do this because Brad is a very technical person. I apparently am not.
No, it's just not going.
Yeah, it won't go. It won't rewind.
No.
Oh, here we go. There it is.
Wait, I don't think it's on the TV now, though.
Hold
This
on.
is exciting stuff here, guys.
Yeah, this is good times. You can tell we planned this out really well. This is what we call the red eye version of my.
Well, I mean, it's not like you showed up 5 minutes before the show.
Hey, stop it. Brad's saying.
Wow.
Wow. Hey, by the way, there's an opening for a full-time assistant.
Let's see if that's working.
At KelbyOne.
There we go.
Why is it streaming off my phone though, right?
Well, it's still not playing. I don't know.
Tell you what, we'll work on this on the break.
Yeah.
Because there's a 50-50 chance you can see it. I can show you some pictures.
Yeah, let's look at pictures. Those are much easier
Now,
to
I haven't
display.
finished these yet. These all need like serious Photoshop work. But can you see my machine? I'm on video control too.
There we go.
Yeah, so he had a beautiful AMG, a red AMG, crazy expensive, new kind of thing, new car. And so this is lit with just a strip bank. And Brad is the monster of doing this, which is good because he's apparently bad at AirPlay on phones. They had the bubble car, like used in some sci-fi movie. And so I got down low. This is in front of the bubble car. You'd have seen a moment of the bubble car, but more bubble car engine detail. You can see it needs a lot of Photoshop. This is like a 1952 Thunderbird, T-Bird, And again, these need a lot of work. This was the
Stop saying that. They look great.
no. They need. I'm not done. I was late at night. By the time I got to look at these, it was like crazy late at night. I didn't get like. There's just stuff that needs to be done. There's more engine detail. Here's the front of the car, the bubble car, right? And you can see there's issues there that need Photoshop there. This is that V12 AMG Mercedes, and the back of a nice Ferrari there. And there's some more Ferrari stuff. Anyway, I like that one. That was one of my favorites. But anyway, I have a lot to do. Viper there, Dodge Viper. This is the back of the Batmobile, which Brad will tell you. Now you're seeing, unfortunately, a lot of ambient light. Like this is the roof. You're seeing that light, this light, this light. When you see this next, like on my blog, it will look a lot better. But there's nothing harder to light than the Batmobile. We had
very black.
Strip light. It's as black as night. You can't believe what we had to do to get to here. The rest all were these are pretty close, very close to out of the camera. They've been sharpened a little and stuff, but this one will be, when you see it, you're gonna go, that can't be what he shot, because it's anyway. But anyway, we're gonna. That's just a little thing. Did you ever get it going?
No. Sorry.
Maybe I can transfer it to my phone in the break or something. But let's talk about love. Hey, also speaking of love, Brad and I.
Speaking of cars,
we need your help. We're taking a long time getting to the topic. We need your help. Brad and I are going to be in Phoenix
next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. It's the night of the 12th. I'm doing my seminar that day. I'm going to use 2 hands for that. That day, my seminar. Anyway.
Speaking of taking a long time.
We're doing my seminar next Wednesday. I got access to a guy in Phoenix who has a car studio set up for shooting automobiles, is hooking us up, and we're going to go there after my seminar, and we're going to shoot a car. You know what we need?
A car.
A car. Now, here's what we need.
Something cool, new,
we will
shiny.
make you a big, beautiful print of your car. We'll make you multiple prints of your car. We'll take the shot, but you got to make it available next Wednesday in Phoenix.
From like 7-ish till...
Yeah, from like 7-ish to 9-ish.
We got like a red eye at midnight,
Right.
so we got some time.
But here's the kind of car we need. It can't be an old classic car. We need like a new exotic car. So it could be anything from like a Lamborghini, not a Ferrari, we've shot Ferraris to death, like a Lamborghini or a Lotus or something really cool. So if you have a ridiculous car, or you know somebody with a ridiculous car, how can they get a hold of it?
Twitter. Just tweet.
Scott Kelby or Be More Visuals, either one of us, and let us know, and we'll get some cool shots of your car. Cause we'll be able to do the full car, not just little parts like we did here. Of course, we'll do those as well. But we'll make you a really cool poster, and we'll make you some cool shots and stuff. So if you've got an exotic car, you live in Phoenix, and you're loose with money, which if you have an exotic car, you are loose with money, we will hope to see you
Next
on
Wednesday.
the set next Wednesday.
All right.
It's
topic time.
Let's talk about the topic today. So we're at WPPI. Now, first, if you've never been to WPPI, I just went for the first time last year.
I went for the first time this week.
Brad went for the first time this week. Great show, isn't it?
Yeah, phenomenal.
It's a phenomenal show. So it is the wedding and portrait show, basically, of America. And I would say that it's probably maybe the most important show, that one or Photo Plus, but they're both run by the same people. Great group of people.
Yeah.
It is just a terrific show. There's a great vibe there.
Everybody's very excited, energetic, passionate.
2 full halls. I mean, there's the hall with all the big vendors where you got Canon and you got Epson and Nikon and Sony and
the booths are so big, they
waving
ran out of
hands.
room, so you have to open up another hall.
The booths are so large. I mean, they're big, large booths. Then they open another hall across the way, still at the MGM Grand in Vegas. And it's packed full, but it's just smaller booths, 10 by 20s and 20 by 20s and all. But really good stuff over there. It was packed over there too. They have a conference track as well. Okay, so there's a lot of that kind of stuff. That was good. But so what I wanted to do was I had to teach 3 sessions for Canon, 1 for B&H, and then for the first time I was actually on their what they call the platform, but the conference track, teaching portrait retouching. And I had a great time with all the teaching.
How did that go? I had to leave, so how did that go?
It went great.
Good.
Except for, and this is so going to fit in with my theme here. I show up, I take out my tablet, I'm getting ready to go. Where's my cable for my tablet? I can't find the cable that connects my tablet to my laptop.
For your retouching class.
So Matt's there. I send Matt a text. Matt, dude, quick, bring me your Wacom cable. Matt writes, I'm on a plane to LA. I'm like, it's 10 minutes before my class. I look over and I see Sarah Jane Todd from Peach Pit Press in the front row. And I go, SJ, come here real quick. Well, SJ, it's short for...
Sarah Jane.
Yeah, Sarah Jane. I was wondering what that was for. She runs over there and I go, I need you to run to the Wacom booth and get me a cable. And dude, by the time that class started, she had already gone all the way over there, got a cable.
It's not a short walk either.
No, she ran. And I was just, so thanks to SJ. Big love to SJ today for doing that. So anyway, but I wanted to see other teachers. Number one, I'm always looking for teachers for Kelby training.
Sure.
You know, we're always trying to, like, whoever's really, really great. And so I watched a lot of different people teach, people I knew and people I did not know. I saw Peter Hurley teach over at the...
He's all right.
Yeah, he was awesome. He's just you get around Peter Hurley and you just want to hug him. He's just a really great, he has this energy coming out of him. It's crazy. Then I saw Jeff Cable talking about, he was at the Sochi Olympics and he had some great stuff. And so I went around the place and I sat in on a session from Hanson Fong.
Okay.
Now, I've heard Hanson Fong's name for many, many years, but I sat front row in his session because it was the only seat available. Anyway, he was terrific. Oh my gosh. You know what I love about Hanson Fong?
What's that?
He really teaches the business of photography. He had so many practical lessons that were just about the business of it. So I was very impressed. Hanson Fong is just a great teacher and a very charming guy. I thought he was very, very charming. And he's been, I think he's been shooting for 37 years. He was really, really great. But something happened in his class that kind of sparked what I wanted to talk about today. So he's talking about, somebody asked a question in his session there, and I don't remember exactly what the question was, but they said, do you use auto white balance or something? And he says, yes. I don't really remember if that was his answer, but it was something like that. He said, yes, I use auto white balance. And then the guy challenges him back and goes, well, the last speaker said to never use auto white balance. And I think there was an important lesson in that exchange there, is number one, don't be mean to the trainer on stage that's giving you the free class. But that wasn't really the lesson. But you know what? He said something that was very true that he came back and he said, this is how I do it and this is my style.
Right.
And if that style works for him, then that's cool. And I think that is something that's a very big thing about education today. Because number one is, there is no official way to do anything in photography. There's no official way to do anything in Photoshop or Lightroom. I mean, you have buttons on the camera and you have sliders in Lightroom and you have sliders and brushes and stuff in Photoshop. But if the method that you do is working for you, then it's right. And so while Hanson's saying I don't use or don't, I can't remember, I don't want to pin him down on whether he said he did or didn't, but that it works for him. And everybody, like you'll talk to people that say, oh, I use a color checker and I do this and I balance the thing. And then you have people that don't. And then you have people like me and Brad and I, we use a color checker when we remember to. But we don't always.
Do we have a color checker?
We use a gray card. We don't use like a big, we use a gray card. And so, but that's when we remember to, we get busy, we're doing other stuff. And, it's like, would it make our lives easier if we did? Yeah.
Sure.
Probably. But we don't really have a problem with white balance.
Not really.
Nah.
Well, and like that's the thing is, just because you do something one way doesn't mean that everybody should do it that way. You can give the reasons. Here's how I do this, and here's why I do this, and then somebody else will have a different way and a different reason as to why they do it their way.
Yes.
And it works as long.
It's still right.
Trust me, Alan Hess would have my head if he could, because I use auto ISO when I shoot concerts. And he's full manual, which is fine.
See, I would use auto ISO if I was shooting concerts. I would use auto ISO in a heartbeat.
And, Alan and I kid each other about it. And I don't know if he's kidding really, but I am. But no, like we go back and forth about it. And it's, both, if I may say so, both of our pictures look pretty darn good.
Oh, yeah.
You wouldn't be able to label this one was using ISO 400 and this one was 2000 or whatever.
Right. But you know what it is? A lot of it is I think Hanson Fong said it very well when he said, this is my style and this is what works for me. So as you go along a trade show like this, I think that you're going to hear varying things. You're going to hear me talking about a beauty dish and a large softbox, because I did a live shoot at B&H where I did that. And then you'll go around the corner and you'll have somebody go, here's why you don't ever want to use a beauty dish. And so I think what we have to do as photographers is I want to take it all in. And you will find people who you trust. For example, if Joe McNally says something about flash, I know that that's coming from a source I trust. Yet, I shoot in manual mode and Joe shoots in TTL. And Joe is able to make TTL work for him on an amazing level.
Because he's the light whisperer.
He is the light whisperer. He takes the flash and says, "You're going to fire," and it fires. I have to do everything I can to coax it to fire. I have to walk over and push the button to actually get a test fire out of it. So I shoot in manual mode, and it works for me. But I think that what a lot of people are looking for is the definitive answer.
Right.
And I think what instead you should look for is people that you trust. Someone that you go, okay, I trust Joe McNally for flash, and I trust Peter Hurley when it comes to headshots. I'm just going to follow Peter. And that's what I've done. I put together the people that are my go-to guys. If I want to shoot a wedding in natural light, Cliff Mountner is...
Oh, gosh, yeah.
That's the guy. I mean, he's he's insane. And by the way, we're going to be doing a bunch of stuff with Cliff. I saw Cliff out there. We came up with some new classes we're going to be doing. Great stuff. Hey, so Anna Adams, hi Anna, just wrote in a very good comment. And Anna wrote, sometimes people think it's easier to follow a rule than to experiment and adapt to new choices. Hey, can I just... The jib is like right in the way. I can't. There we go. I can't actually read this.
Our normal jib operator isn't here today. We're running on like our C list or something now.
We're on like D list, I think. Jib operator. Yeah. Now it's covering everything.
Anyway.
Don't ever make the jib guy mad. So thank you, Anna. That's a very good observation. Also, you said if there was no official way for Photoshop, then why do all the graphic design jobs ask you for a 4-year degree still? I know the answer, just curious what yours is, since you worked as a graphic designer. Well, you know what it is?
It's actually from Alexandra.
That's
not Anna.
Oh, I said
different person.
Didn't I say it's from Alexandra?
Okay, sorry. Go on.
No, I realized it says Alexandra. Okay. So I think what it is I think a lot of places want a 4-year degree, not because of your skill in that, because your skill as a graphic designer is in your portfolio.
Right.
But getting a 4-year degree speaks volumes about your maturity, your commitment. It's, you know what I mean? It's bigger than can you design or not, because your portfolio is actual proof of your design skills. Your 4-year degree is not. Some of the worst designers ever made have a 4-year degree. And some of the greatest designers haven't even driven by a college that teaches design. So your portfolio says it. But anyway, that was just one of the things. There's a lot of different insights. But
you'll take a quick break and then come back.
I think that's a wonderful idea. So Brad would normally be moderating this stuff and would say when it's time to have a break. Today, Pete has no clue. So he's just shooting us birds.
Well, it's also our usual jib operator will be telling me to take a break, but this one's not so much.
When you have a higher level of jib operator, it makes a huge difference. It really does. Everything comes together. We have some interesting insights coming up.
On the industry overall.
On the industry overall coming up. And
Pete is just a conduit of mediocrity.
Yeah, he just wrote, he is a conduit of mediocrity. And I think mediocrity is really being very kind. Hey, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to be looking at the industry and some other things we picked up this week from WPPI. Don't go away. We're live right here on the grid with Mr. Brad Moore as our in-studio co-host. Don't go away.
So you know how we were going to get that video to work on the break? When it's a 35-second break, there's no time to get it
Yeah,
to
there's
work.
no time. I'm going to try to sync and maybe get it in my iTunes or something. It'll take a minute to sync. Okay. Hey, so here we go. Greg J. wrote in a very interesting comment. My 8th grade science teacher told us to be very careful of the experts you choose. Some experts would lead you down the wrong path. Choosing people like Joe McNally, etc., is critical in a person's growth. Hey, you know what? He makes a great point, because I do think you have to be careful who you choose, because you could choose someone. You know what? Can I tell you something about that? And there was something interesting that I found. I was all over the show floor watching different presentations. And Nikon had a theater going with some very, very, very great people. Canon had their theater going with some great people there, and I got to see a lot of them because I was waiting for my next presentation. Like I saw Dennis Reggie. I've never seen him speak at the Canon booth, and he was just terrific. My guy's something. But so I wanted to see as many people. Can I tell you something that's interesting? So when you go to a show, any big show, you have people that have been doing this for 30 and 40 years. And you wind up seeing, I hate to say it, and I want to be critical of other people, but so I'm not going to mention anyone's name, but I would see different people showing really, really old school stuff. I mean, like everything that they say is technically correct. I mean, they've been doing this for years, and they've done this, and they understand this stuff at a level that I will never understand it. But when they take the picture and it comes up on a television monitor, you look and you go, that looks like a portrait from 1980. And
Because that's when they came up, and all those certifications were very important. Where now anybody's a photographer,
but it still looks like that.
Yeah.
And this is interesting, because I had a photographer send me a note, and she was very upset at what was happening in her town. Luckily I don't know her name or her town, but I can tell you she was very upset because the brides in their town wanted the new look of what brides want today.
The flare.
The lens flare, the blown out look and all. And there were photographers in her town that were doing that. They were giving the brides the look they want.
How dare they?
And that's what she was saying. How dare they? And that it's not the way she was taught. She's the one doing classical portraiture the way it should be done. And basically, she's still shooting for what the bride's mom would want for her wedding, not what for today's bride wants. And she wanted me to take up this. She wanted me to take up this cause, like these photographers are ruining photography. There's lens flare and there's all these awful things, and this is not right. And what she's basically saying is, I cannot stay with the times. The times have changed, and I'm not willing to do that. I'm not really willing to change. And I think there are, like, you see some new people coming up that really have that new look. I saw a brief bit of Dixie Dixon teaching.
Oh yeah.
You know, and she's really got that new look. And you see, as you go around, you see different people and some new people coming up, and you look at their work and you're like, yeah, this is where photography is going today. And then you have these people that are so good. They're such great photographers, and they've forgotten more about photography than I'll ever know. But they click the shutter and you look on the TV screen and you're like, oh my gosh, it's so perfectly old school. And I think that's one thing so what if you are a new up and coming photographer and you decide I'm going to follow this person? This goes back to what person just mentioned a moment ago, was if I choose this photographer to follow, because everything that woman was saying was right on the money. I'm watching her, I'm like, that's very good. That's insightful. The posing, the this, the that. Click. And you're like, it just looks like, I don't know how to explain it. The lighting, the props, the posing.
Was it the chin under the hand under the chin thing? Yeah.
No, it was not. But it's just, and then you saw really neat, slick, so it's an interesting world to be in. And I think that's why you need to go to places like WPPI. I think you need to go there. Even if you don't go to the conference track like where I was teaching my retouching, you can go to a conference like WPPI, like Photoshop World, and you will see tremendous demonstrations And you know what's interesting? They're not pitching their products. Right? They're just basically like when Canon and Nikon and Sony, when they set up their booths, you're not going there to they don't
see a lens demo.
Yeah, they don't do a lens demo. They just talk about photography. Here's how I light brides. And you saw a lot of brides and grooms in different booths all over the place. So that was kind of neat. Hey, Monaco Javier just popped in here. Hey, I +1 on Monaco shots today. He's got an amazing shot on Google Plus of a tiger. Did you see it?
I did not.
He's got like a pano and this tiger. I don't know where. I didn't get a chance to look at where it was shot, but it's hard to get a good shot of a tiger unless you go to where tigers live, which is, I think, where? Cincinnati? Dayton? Anyway, but Monaco, anyway, good job on that shot, Monaco. Very nice. Shows are killer for seeing and learning a lot of different techniques. I think that's what's most important after a show is trying some of those things you learn and weeding out what doesn't work for you. What you end up with is what does work for you, and that's how you develop your own style.
Right.
And really, that's it. It's like kind of learning guitar and stuff. You know, it's like you're gonna learn the classics, but you have to find out what's my style. This one says regarding choosing experts. Whatever happened to critical thinking? Listen to all, evaluate, cull, learn, and keep moving. That's from Lori B. But yeah, I think that's what we have to do is look at all this stuff. See where it's at. But
and that's what you do. Like whenever there's so many people speaking on the expo floor or even in the classrooms or whatever, you go through and you can pick up bits and pieces from each one of them to then, like they were talking about, kind of, incorporating into your own shooting. But, you don't look at somebody and go, I have to take everything they're saying as gospel and do everything exactly the way they're doing it. But you can take little bits and pieces and go, oh, that one thing is really cool. And then you go to another one. Oh, that totally makes sense. And then you combine those things, and then you have your, as you keep shooting, you start to develop your own
He's
style.
right. And I agree with everything you said, except for don't take everyone's thing as gospel. Take my stuff as gospel. No, but because everything I say is going to be my opinion and my style and how I do it. But I think that is why you would want to maybe come to my seminar or something, because I'm going to show you my way. When I go to Joe McNally's photo, I want to learn how Joe does it. If I learn fashion photography from Frank Duerhoff, I want to see how Frank's doing it. I want to see his insights, because I've looked at Frank's work and I'm like, how does he do that? I do my skin retouching now based on Frank Duerhoff's skin retouching. So it's like, and that's the thing. So if you want to go to any show, Photo Plus East is coming up in November, Photoshop World obviously in Atlanta. You just missed WPPI, Imaging USA. If you've never been to one of those shows,
you got to go.
All you have to pay is whatever the price of getting into the expo, which is usually very small.
Half the time it's free.
Half the time you can probably find a sponsor that says, hey, we have 500 free passes, and you can. Yeah. If you have to pay to go to one of those shows, there's something wrong. But you will learn so much. There were so many great people out there doing these, and I think that's what people think. I think if I go to a show, I'm going to see a bunch of demos.
And that's not the case.
On that show floor, you're going to see an amazing, like when I keep mentioning Hanson Fong, but I got to see his from beginning to end. A lot of people I saw 10 minutes, 15 minutes. He gave like a 45-minute thing. And he didn't really talk a whole lot about his lighting. And he did things with 3 lights and some gels and stuff. He didn't really talk, but he really talked about the business of photography. And he had some great things about posing and about how to deal with customers and stuff. And it was so great. I mean, it's just, I would love to share some of it with you, but I don't want to steal his stuff because it's his stuff, But anyway, hey, Monica Javier just says, I took the tiger shot in the rain at the National Zoo. That's right. Monaco's out of D.C. because I saw him at D.C. Photoshop World, and when we teach up there, he comes out. That's a good shot. That's great. Mikey Mike is saying, so is Scott saying that I can't pose my brides against a tree with selective color on the bouquet?
If you come to Scott's seminar, he will show you how to do selective color. Not really.
So how do you distinguish? Here's a good question. This is from Richard D. Richard asks, how do you distinguish when it is time to change how you shoot and shoot currently? Like you mentioned with a classic wedding shooter versus Dixie Dixon shooting the new way. You know what it is? I think, number one, it kind of have to speaks to you. It kind of has to speak to you. In other words, you have to kind of like it. It would be very, very hard, I think, for most people to go, you know what, I'm going to change my style, and I hate it.
It'd be disingenuous.
I think you have to get to a point where you realize the quality in the change. And I know that there's people that are very, very, very resistant to change. I know that there are people, how many people have you talked to, Brad, that use a string in their studio? And the string says the light goes, I always put my light in the same place because I have a string attached. It's this far from the subject. This one has a string going this way and a string where they
Because
shoot.
it puts the shadow right here.
It puts it right there on every shot and blah, 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 blah. And so it's a really tough question because you have to change. You have to make the decision. I don't want to be left behind. So who is it that's doing a new style that I think I could adapt to? I think maybe that.
Sure. Well, I mean, I think you have to kind of experiment with those things and see if you like it. You know, next time you're out on a shoot, you try something you haven't tried before, and that's how you discover these new techniques. You know, you see somebody else teach it, and you go, oh, I'm going to try that next time. Try it. If you don't like it, don't do it, you know?
Yeah, maybe what
And you don't have to show it. Just because you shoot something that way doesn't mean you have to show it on your website.
So what if you do this? What if we take what Brad is saying here, and you know you're an old school shooter, you know it, and by the way, you know it, and you can defend it because it's right. You know you're doing it right. You've done it forever. You've made a living,
and you're having a hard time finding a place to get your film developed.
Quote of the day goes to Mr. Brad Moore.
It was on the prompter. Kidding.
No, it wasn't. Okay, so here's the thing. That was good. This is why I have you on the show. All right. So listen, what Brad is saying, I think you're onto something here. So let's say you're that old school person, and you go out and you try different styles. You know what would be the ideal thing is? You update your style, but not to match Dixie Dixon,
right?
And not to match somebody else that's like emerging photographer, but instead to create your style, reinvent yourself.
Yeah.
Not as a Dixie Dixon or someone like that, but as the new you.
And that's what I was saying about getting bits and pieces from different people. You know, if you get little bits and pieces from each person, you're not going to be that person. You're going to be you. Right? Yeah. Everything's a remix, right?
Hey, Steve says a thing here. He says to pass the CPP, which is the Certified Professional Photographer course at PPA, you have to emulate the old master's lighting. So here's what I would tell you, and this is very true. So my wife is a pilot, and to be a pilot, my wife had to be able to show technology that no pilot is going to use. She had to show mastery in how to be able to fly a plane that has no GPS, has no this, has no anything, and it's just basically you're flying a tin can in the sky with paper and like some kind of a compass, right? I mean, it was crazy. I'm like, was anybody to really do this? And
in case all your instrumentation goes down.
Yeah, but if everything else went, but you still can look out the window. Hey, look, there's a landing field. Anyway, she's flying VFR. It's like, oh look, But anyway, but even our instructor said, you're never, ever, ever, ever. If you ever have to use this, something has gone so wrong that he said, just crash your plane into the ground. No, he did not say that. But I'm just saying, you're right. Maybe to pass that test, and you know what? You got to have some criteria, right? And I think being able to, do all the classic lighting patterns and the loop lighting and the butterfly lighting and the Rembrandt lighting, I think that's great to know. It's a great validation. That doesn't have to be your look.
It's a good starting point.
But knowing that stuff, that's the basic building blocks of you being able to create your own style. Anyway, I don't want to spend too much long because we got others now.
Not that it's a bad thing at all, but like how many KelbyOne instructors would you say have that CPP after their name?
David Zeiser probably. Right, he's like a master.
I would assume so, yeah.
David Zeiser.
But like, it's not a requirement. It's not that common, right?
Well, I mean, it's a resume builder like anything else. It's like being an Adobe certified ace. You want to be able to say, because if you're looking at and comparing two photographers, and you're like, I'm not sure which one to get. This one's a certified professional photographer. They just got the edge a little bit. There is a very legitimate reason. It's a business reason to do it. Okay, so let's say, Tim Ritter says, is it really necessary to go to conferences anymore? I find the level of teaching much higher on places like KelbyOne and Creative Live. You can go back and rewatch the content. At a conference, you have to take notes or try to remember everything you've seen. So Tim, can I tell you something? If you go and buy an album, or sorry,
A digital
CD,
download?
Forget that. If you go download,
If you stream on Spotify.
you download I'm going to use Madonna, for example, and I'll tell you why I'm going to use.
I'm sorry, I just got a cramp.
So, if you were to go buy a Madonna download of one of her songs, and the reason why I'm using Madonna, I'll tell you in a moment, it's going to be absolutely perfect. You can listen to it as many times as you want. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be clean and clear. But she was one of the biggest concert draws in the world last year. You know what it's hard to get from one of those is it's hard to get the level of inspiration from something that is canned than you see when there's someone live, and afterwards you can go up and talk to them and meet them and ask them questions. Getting your questions answered in person, and I think that's just huge.
Mm-hmm.
And I take advantage of that. If I see somebody, I'll go up and say, now you were saying this thing, and how do you do this? And I'll take notes. I really don't mind taking notes. I'm not going to take 100 notes. I'm just going to write down the really, really important stuff. But I'll tell you what, Tim, you got to go to a conference like that. There is a difference. There's a tremendous difference emotionally, the connection that you get and the feeling that you get. And also, like, if you went to WPPI, there were KelbyOne instructors teaching everywhere. Like, there was Peter Hurley over here, Lindsay Adler's right there at the next booth, Jack Resnicki's over at the Cannon stage with me, Eddie Tapp was there. I mean, like, so many Kelby instructors were already there teaching. Matt Klaskowski was there. I was there. It's not like Photoshop World where everybody there is a KelbyOne instructor. So we have like 40 instructors, and they're all on KelbyOne. But there was probably 10 at least doing things right there on the show floor. So I think that is really, really cool.
Well, and the other aspect of a conference that you don't get at all from watching stuff online is the community aspect. You know, you're there surrounded by thousands of other photographers that you may or may not know, and out of the instructors, the people that are speaking, you might see somebody that you never would have on purpose watched online, because you're choosing what you watch online. You can click all the names, but at the conference you might just be walking by a booth and go, ooh, that looks interesting, and you stop and find a new favorite person.
That's how I found Dixie Dixon.
There you go.
I'm at Photo Plus East, and this is like a year and a half
There's
ago.
not a West anymore, is there?
No, it's just Photo Plus.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm at Photo Plus, but they still call it PPE, right?
Photo Plus Expo.
Oh.
Yes, we see it.
I know. Break. Listen.
We're in the middle of
Pete's over
something.
there.
We'll
And by the
break
way,
it at a
Pete
good
writes
breaking
funny
point.
things. They're not as funny as Brad's. Brad writes break and always puts a funny thing. Pete it's weak. Work on that. Work on that this week. Stop shooting me birds.
Anyway, but no, it's all.
I just got off a plane. I'm tired.
He just got off
I'm
a bird.
tired, George.
But
Anyway.
it's also like you're meeting other photographers who are working professionals like you, or people that are just starting out, and you know there's parties going on, and like it's just a fun event. You know, like you just don't
the
you don't-
networking and meeting the friends and stuff and all, and that is hey, oh, I just got one of our readers just texted me. It's my wife. she goes to the top of the line always. Hang on a second. We never got that video to play. Here we go. She says, if you maintain a healthy curiosity about your craft, you will constantly be absorbing what's new, inventive, and what's changing in your industry. Mm-hmm. What your curiosity exposes, what your curiosity exposes to you will eventually start to change your style.
Yeah.
And she says, well, maybe.
If you're open to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very insightful. See why I love her? All right. Well, that's obviously just one reason. But anyway, hey, so So JW Photo just said the difference between watching photo tutorials online and attending a Kelby Live seminar is like the difference between listening to an MP3 versus attending a concert. Yeah,
Right.
that's kind of the thing I was trying to make. There is a whole different thing. We're going to take a short break when we come back. I got a couple more things that are important. I'm going to try to get us out of here on time today, but there's a couple more things because I haven't really got to the big dun, dun, dun thing. So stick around when we come back from this break. We're going to try to real quickly get this stupid video to work. So don't go away. We're live here in the grid. Brad says
Give us more than a 30-second break this time, please.
well, now our director is in the booth going, I need another ad. Where's that? If there's anything we hate doing, it's running ads.
Cut to Jib.
All right, did it sync?
When it comes to being a photographer, there are no shortage of online networks waiting for you to share your images, interact with others, and potentially grow your business. From Google Plus to Facebook, Twitter to Instagram, 500 pics to Flickr, you have more options at your disposal now than ever before. Join me, Colby Brown, as we discuss the ins and outs of various social networks, and I walk you through the process of creating your very own social media strategy.
I really believe that your photography is a reflection of who you are. In my posing class, you're going to learn a lot of things. How to pose a bride and bring out the best in her shape and her curves. How to photograph a groom, because many of us who may focus on the bride will ignore the groom. And getting your clients to mirror you. Mirroring, I find, is the best way of getting people to pose. I'm Jerry Gionis. Check out my class on the fine art of posing at KelbyTraining.com.
Hey, we're back here live. Hey, we're very fortunate to have 4 people run over here and figure out how to get a video off an iPhone. Tell you what, we don't know that new stuff.
If only we had somebody who had written an iPhone book.
I didn't write the hard chapters. Look, Terry and I split the book. Swear to God, straight up, here's what we did. It's 10 chapters in the book. I took the 5 parts that I really knew well. All of the hard stuff, I let Terry write. I'm like, look, I'm not a technical guy. You know what I am? I'm the other guy. And I have technical friends like Terry. Terry knows stuff. Brad, you know, like I go to a shoot, something doesn't work. Brad, he knows all to fix it. And that, you know what? That happened to Hanson Fong. And he had a guy right there. And he's like, look, my job is director. I'm doing all this stuff. And he goes, I don't know the technical stuff here. And I'm like, yes, that's why I fell in love with him right there. All right. All right, so we got the video working. We're going to play it for you now. It's no stunning video now that we've gone through all this. It's my iPhone.
The build-up is, yeah.
Yeah, don't be expecting anything cool.
It gives you an idea of the
You got to realize
scale.
this guy's doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Hey, here we go. Ready? There we go.
Is there audio?
So look, air conditioned. This is just the hangar part. Look at all the cars. Batmobile. We got lights set up. Oh, Ferraris. More
Viper.
Ferraris. Lighting gear. Eddie Tap. Oh, look, it's another Batmobile. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
He keeps Eddie Tap in the garage.
He keeps Eddie Tap in his garage. Well, everybody's got Eddie Tap in their garage. Okay. Anyway, kind of a long build-up for that. Okay.
Anyway.
Interesting thing about WPPI before I get to the big one. I met so when I meet someone at WPPI, if they come up and they want me to sign their book or whatever it is, if I've got a second with them, I always ask the question, what time of stuff? Oh, Bob, nice to meet you. Where are you from? What time of stuff do you shoot? Because I always like to hear,
What do you shoot?
can I tell you how many times when I ask someone, what type of stuff do you shoot? They are absolutely super plussed. They are stuck and they're like, it's like no one has ever asked them before. I go, Bob, great to meet you. So what kind of stuff do you shoot? They're like this. I don't know. People, my kids.
Cats.
It's like no one ever asked them that question before, and it's that awkward moment where I don't think they've ever really thought about what type of stuff that they shoot. An interesting thing was how many people I met at WPPI who were into photography for 1 year or less. Now, of course, there's a lot of pros there that go every year, but I think that's a good thing. I think that really shows a lot of people's passion that hey, they're just into it in a year, and they've invested the time to travel. Those,
You know what's a good thing?
Why?
More people for us to teach.
Yes, it is a good thing. It's more people for us to teach. So that's the. There's a funny comment. Lonnie from Utah, wrote, "I've been in a plane crash. True story. I survived. If you're curious." No,
For two comments.
two different comments. And so that's good. We're very glad to hear that, because if you hadn't, there would be no comment. But I met so many people who have been into this literally for just 1 year, and they're like, yeah, I just started this, and then I look, and they're like, they pull up their camera, and it's a 5D Mark III with a 24 to 70 L glass, or like, oh look, it's a D4, and they've got like a 70 to 200. They're walking around wearing their cameras.
Good
I saw
stuff.
a lot of people, really good stuff. So these people, they're all in, but they were loving it. Everybody I talked to, like, oh, I just love to shoot. I love to shoot. And if I ask the question, what type of stuff do you shoot? So just know that if we run into each other someplace,
be prepared.
I might ask
Answer
that
that
question.
question.
But I think it's a good thing. I think it's a soul-searching thing for photographers. Because if you are completely stumped, I mean completely stumped by the question, what type of stuff do you like to shoot? You haven't given enough thought to what you're doing. And so I think that would help. And we talk about this kind of on my tour. We actually talking about defining yourself as a photographer. But that's kind of interesting. All right. Hey, so Jock, and I know Jock, out in Hawaii, has this comment. He says, if most of the Hawaii fine art photographers are showing oversaturated prints in galleries, I assume they are selling, do I join the fray or try showing reasonable saturated images? Jock, I can answer that question really easily for you. Do you want to sell images or not? Here's the thing. You can have your own images for you that look just the way you want it. But if you know the public wants oversaturated images, look at Peter Lick. I think Peter Lick, I know he gets, people give him crap and stuff. I go into his gallery, I'm like, this stuff looks great. I know, but other people are like, oh, his stuff's too oversaturated. I think his stuff looks wonderful. And other photographers are now opening galleries just like his. Did you see in the MGM?
I didn't go in, but I saw it, yeah.
Another guy opened up with same kind of landscapes, very saturated, printed on a specific paper that makes it look really great.
Metallic
kind of, but it's not metallic. It's something else, because we had a whole debate about that. But it's whatever's beyond metallic paper. Anyway, everything looks like it's backlit.
Aluminum. I'm saying it British. Aluminum. I don't know.
All right, so Jock, I think that it really depends. If you want to sell, and this is what the public wants, what you're saying is, the public wants to buy this, I refuse to do that. So your stuff will be kept secret at your house. But if you want to make a living, you got to do what the public wants. Honestly, it's all about that. It's about delivering what your customers are asking for. If obviously customers love that. It's just like, Jock, you may not want to go and shoot a lighthouse, but if you make a lighthouse print, it will sell. People love lighthouses. You can sell lighthouse shots all day long. As a photographer, you may think, this is so cliche, this is so dumb. But at the end of the day, that's what people want. All right, so, hey, we're supposed to have a Peach Pit e-deal, and I want to wrap up with the big one I've been saving for this. So, Peach Pit has a deal they do this, they're one of our sponsors, God bless them, and they make a deal just for you, our readers, every week. It is the Photographer's MBA. It is Senior High School Portraiture by Sal Cincata. I actually saw Sal. I saw him from a distance. I didn't get to say hi. But he was at WPPI. So to get this deal, the book is normally like $31 something. As you can see on screen. You can get it for $19.19 as the ebook deal. 40% off. Just go to peachpit.com/KelbyOne. Enter the book code KelbyOne, and then you'll get it. All right, now. So, hey, Fuzzy2 writes, if you always follow a photographer, you will never be more than second place. That's true unless you're better than that photographer. Okay. And you know what? There are some people coming up that are just insane. I mean, there are some people that are like emerging talent out there that are just fantastic. Jock says, thanks, Scott. By the way, I shot a lighthouse yesterday. I smell payday, Jock. All right. So here's the last thing I want to do. We're going
to do that one?
Oh, yeah, real quickly. Here, just before we get to that, you know what I did notice on the show floor? You know what's selling? You know what people are really willing to pay for? And as you walk around the show floor, you can see it. Photographers are willing to pay for anything that makes their lives easier.
Simple.
If you can make their life simpler, if you can make it easier, if you can make whatever, because it can get complicated as a photographer real quick. People that are making a buzz. So MagMod is a company that makes these new modifiers, and we went by their booth, and it was we were trying to talk to them.
We had to wait for
We
like
had to wait
10
forever
minutes
to get to one guy just to go, hey, we're just wanted to congratulate you guys on the launch of this. This was a Kickstarter project, and what they do is they have, I think, one of the best designed systems.
I gotta be a little better
You
than
probably should not throw it. It's all magnetized. So when you want to take anything, I know, right? Our studio audience is impressed. But it just this little thing fits right around your flash. It's magnetized. When you want to add a grid, when you want to add a gel or whatever, they're already pre-cut and they just fit right on there. It's magnet. It's so simple. It's so brilliant. But this is the kind of stuff that had people lining up to buy it. You know what else is a big trend at WPPI? And I first saw it with the Prio lights, which are strobes that do not have a battery pack. The battery fits inside the strobe. So,
I just happen to have one right here.
wow, I'm impressed. I was just going to say, Pro Photo's got this. Is this the B1?
Yeah.
So this is the whole thing. This is the light,
No.
and we're
Not giving this
that
away.
Yes, we're giving it away only to our studio audience. No, it's not cheap, but this is Pro Photo. This is as good as it gets, right? This is like insane quality. If you go to a rental house in New York City and you're going to do a huge job, I don't care what it is, I don't care where you go, they're sending you Pro Photo gear.
Yep.
It is the industry standard for that stuff. Anyway, they come out with this B1, which look at this, it looks so futuristic. Anyway. Don't anyone share that moment just there. All right.
Somebody take that and like have cats shooting out of it or something. I don't know.
But this has the battery pack. This is it. This is the whole thing. It's small, it's lightweight, it has the battery pack. You're not carrying a separate pack. This thing is cool. Brad and I have we shot with a pre-release model. Is this the pre-release or is
No,
this
this
the real
is
thing? This is the real thing.
I want to drop it. There.
Yeah, snap it on. Yeah. And now you can just display it. But it's the controls are simple. The operation is simple. This is all you're taking. This is your studio, your high quality studio strobe on location with an LED modeling light. It's amazing. This is one thing that the simplicity aspect, photographers are willing to pay for that, and I think a lot of people. Did you just wreck
I just dropped the battery. Is all.
our new light?
No, just the battery. It's Pro Photo. It'll work. It's
It is.
durable.
I know. You can drop a Pro Photo off a moving train and jump out of the train, and you can still light with it. That's their thing.
Anyway.
All right. So the last thing is the one I've been kind of saving, and I'm going to put this out there, and I'm just going to let the chips fall where they may. And
It's
my
not his
question
fault.
is the photography industry in a recession? So different than the regular economic recession that we've kind of been through, and some parts are coming out. I think that as the country and the world is coming out of the economic recession, I think we may be seeing the photo industry going into the recession. And here's why. So at the show, there was a lot of talk, a lot of gossip and rumors and stuff, but a lot of things about layoffs at big companies. I had a guy come up to me from a big company. I can say who it was because
It's public
all over the
knowledge,
floor.
yeah.
And it's on Google. You can find it there. Sony laid off 40% of their staff like that. Like 40%. I had guys from Sony coming up to me and saying, do you guys have any openings? Do you know anybody has any openings? Guys still in their Sony clothes, right? They're like, we just found out like 2 weeks from now we're all out of a job. Just boom, across the board. But it wasn't just them. You heard about companies that are kind of, not camera manufacturers, but companies that have been around forever that you heard people going, did you hear they're laying off people? Did you hear they may not be here? I mean, and we know DSLR sales, like you can go look at industry trends and stuff, are down. The compact flash market, the little point and shoots, that industry has been absolutely devastated because of this. Because these are so easy to connect and pull a video off of. That may not be the best example. But here's the thing. that was the other thing people were talking about at the show. It was very, very palpable. You know, when somebody as big as Sony, you know, lays off. And I heard that there's restructuring issues and there's different things and all, but when guys in Sony shirts are like, do you know anybody looking for a job? That's not a good thing. And it was I don't want to go and name all the companies, but there were a number of companies there where people were freaked out. Did you hear? People are coming to me. Did you hear what's happening over there? Did you have everything from like camera bag manufacturers to electronics to all these different stuff? People are coming up and saying, did you hear what's going on over there? These guys couldn't show because of this. These guys didn't. It's a weird time. I know that it's affecting photographers, right? We know that it, like what you were able to get 5 years ago is not what you're able to get today. The market was very different and very much better 5 years ago than it is now. Part of it, as we talked about a few weeks ago on the Grid episode, is the simple supply and demand. There's a tremendous supply of photographers, right? There's a tremendous amount of education. The gear is so much better. You can go on location with a flash that is inexpensive relatively, and because you can spend $7,000 on
easily,
on a pack, easy on a high quality pack. So now you've got these compact. You're able to get the tools in a much less, and so there's way more photographers. But I don't want to say that I don't have all the instances. I'm not an economist. I don't have that kind of. But just going on what I was hearing at the show.
That was your impression.
That's the impression you get. You get that impression. So that was kind of the thing that concerns me the most, obviously, for a whole bunch of reasons. Now, I'm happy that there are all these new photographers coming into the game. Hopefully those new photographers will buy all kinds of stuff, because to keep this whole industry healthy, we need people buying DSLRs and lenses and camera bags and everything else. So I think that was one of the. So I had all my educational takeaways and all, and this was the other takeaway, that we may be either in or heading into a photography recession. Again, not an economist. I'm not an attorney. I play one on TV. But what were your? What did you heard the same stuff I was hearing?
Well, honestly, I didn't really get to talk to too many people on the show floor.
Oh yeah, Brad
I was fairly busy.
Oh yeah. So Brad was pretty much in and out. He was literally, he helped me assist with a live shoot, and then of course the car shoot, we did it at night. And then did I mention Phoenix? We need a car in Phoenix next Wednesday night. Anyway, but that was kind of the thing that I don't know what to say. I don't know what to. I don't have a cure for it. But it will make everything tougher for everybody. Because if the clients are paying less, there's more of photographers than ever, and the industry is starting to suffer. That's not a good thing. It's not a depression, but it certainly is some sort of recession. Now, what's going to happen by the end of the year? I read an article. I didn't write it. I read an article that said by the end of the year there will only be 3 camera manufacturers left. They said it's only going to be Sony, Nikon, and Canon. Everybody else will be gone by the end of the year.
I'm sure there are those that would argue differently.
Sure there are, but the fact that someone would write an article, imagine if you read an article about the auto industry and it said by the end of the year there will only be Ford, GM, and Chevy left. You know?
Chevy is GM.
Dang it. This is your last time on the Grid. Yes, Chevy is GM. Thank you. So instead, Pontiac. Pontiac's already out of business. Ooh, burned the studio audience. Come on, take a shot. Dodge. Chrysler.
There you go.
Fiat. All right.
Anyway,
that was the bad part. That was the weird part. It was great being at WPPI. Wonderfully run show.
Yes.
So anyway, but that was the one thing that kind of freaked me out. Hey, I want to make sure we got to go. So I want to get to your contests. Our contest, if you want to win any of our prizes, and we got some good ones. We've got the Photoshop book for Lightroom users. We've got a full year of KelbyOne. We've got the Mac Fun Snap Heel, which is terrific, amazingly good.
Was there something else?
Yeah, there was one other thing.
No.
Not Pro Photo Light.
Photoshop
And
World.
you guys are not
Photoshop
invited
World?
back.
Photoshop World.
Photoshop World?
No, your ebook.
No, my
It was your
ebook. Yeah,
It was your
Photoshop
ebook.
World. Come on, save it for the good stuff. We gotta say that one. Put it in the vault. Put it in the Disney vault. All right, go to KelbyOne.com/contest. When you go there, you'll see this form. And there will not be a moving mouse like this.
You have to move your mouse.
Yeah, you have to move your mouse. Go choose the grid, put in your name, your email address, and how much you're willing to pay for these items. No, just tell us which one that you want to win. All right, and then
can leave
hit the
feedback,
send
too.
now button. Thank you for that. If you didn't show the send now button, they would not figure that out. Anyway, so that's the giveaway stuff. I would ask you to do this as a wrap up. If you want to look at some really, really, really cool concert photography, go to beMoreVisuals.com. That's Brad's website. He's got some great stuff. He shoots for Sound Spike, and he gets access to amazing concerts and stuff. And he really does a wonderful job.
Oh, thank you.
I can tell you a couple of things. As being a photographer and having a great photographer as your assistant is a huge, huge advantage. Oh yeah, here's Brad's site here. It's a huge, huge advantage, and it's an awful lot of fun as well. But he's really got some great. Look at this stuff. Look at that. You make me sick. I could do that thing where he's
All done with auto ISO.
Auto ISO.
Alan has to just roll over.
Did he?
All right. Anyway, go check out Brad's stuff. Also, Brad, you got some love this year in PDN's contest. So I
did.
entered Brad in PDN's assistant contest, and you were one of the winners they picked, right? They picked
All-star assistants.
the all-star assistants, and
Thank
I
you for
gave them
that.
the whole blurb of why Brad was such a great assistant and so deserving, and they read it and they agreed, and it's true. So go check out Brad's work, and they can find you on Twitter,
Twitter, Be More Visuals. Instagram, Be More Visuals. Don't really do Facebook that much.
Google Plus.
Yeah, I'm on there sometimes. BradGplus.com.
Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you'll check us out next week, and I hope we'll see some of you at my seminar in Phoenix. I hope we'll see one of you at a studio afterwards with a car in Phoenix. See you next week. Take care, everybody.
Bye, guys
Peace.
and girls.
Peace.